Hi everybody, it's me, it's Joseph. And I'm just sitting here with Angelique. She's down here. She's been acting kind of wild. She's very feisty today. And so she's resting here with me. I've got my coffee in my jack-o'-lantern mug, which I love. And today I wanted to do a video on using the pendulum as a divination tool or a spirit communication tool. And there's different ideas about how the pendulum works. Some people believe that the pendulum is tapping into your intuition through your subconscious, and that the subconscious mind causes subtle movements to occur in the muscles of the hand and everything, causing the pendulum to move in the correct way and giving you the information that you need. Other people believe that it's more related to connection with spirits and to things like guides or that sort of thing. And I suppose there's no empirical way to really know which way it is or what it actually is tapping into. I tend to think that it's probably both of those things and maybe other things that we haven't even thought of. So what is a pendulum? A pendulum is basically a weighted object on a string or a chain, like this one here. These are ones that we make and sell on the website. This one I think we do different ones. This one I think is made of agate, but you can get them made out of quartz or other stones, and they can be wood, metal, or anything like that. The very first pendulum that I used was a piece of quartz that I got, and a very small piece of quartz, and I used a paper clip and a piece of string, and I made a pendulum out of it. And that was when I was very young, and I used that as my first pendulum. And then I started using some of the necklaces that I had, like this one. This is a piece of black tourmaline that I wear for protection, and this makes an excellent type of pendulum too, as well as being very protective and grounding. So then I also used, this is one that I use, a metal one that I've had for a very long time. This one's brass, and I really like that one as well. But today I'm going to use this agate one that we make here at Witch House. So before you use a divination tool, this is what I always do. And there's different ways of doing all of this. I never want to come off as being like, this is the one and only way. This is the orthodoxy that everyone has to submit to. Whenever I do a video or a tutorial, it's really just my way of doing it. This is my opinions and this is my perspective. And take anything from that that's useful and just reject anything that doesn't resonate with you. So the first thing I do with a divination tool like the pendulum is I want to clear this of previous energies, and I want to consecrate it so that it will be more likely to give me accurate answers to the questions that I ask it, and so that I'm protected from any energies or beings that I don't want to connect with. So let me show you how I do that. Let's go over to the altar. So the first thing we want to do is cleanse the pendulum of any previous energies or vibrations. And one of the ways that you can do that is with a piece of selenite, like this. And a piece of selenite will cleanse any stone or jewelry of any previous energies or vibrations. So you could set it there and leave it that way. You can also use sound. I use chimes sometimes to cleanse objects of previous energies. And of course, when you're doing so, you have to intend in your mind and spirit to cleanse the object of the energies. But my preferred method is using smoke cleansing, which I'm going to use some sage that we grew. I purify this pendulum of any previous energies or vibrations. So mote it be. And then I like to consecrate the pendulum as well. I'm just putting a tiny bit of consecrating oil on my hands. And then I'm going to do an invoking pentagram, calling upon blessings to come into this pendulum. I consecrate this pendulum in the name of the divine power of the universe and all the mighty ones of the craft, that you may give me true and correct answers to any question that I ask of thee. Blessed be. So now that the pendulum is purified and consecrated, we're going to do what they call calibrating the pendulum, and that is where you determine what a yes and no answer is going to be with the pendulum. And you do that simply by asking the pendulum. And you might want to do that periodically with your tool, because sometimes its energies change and the responses change, or sometimes over time, dealing with multiple energies, sometimes different energies have different responses, and it's important to know what they're saying or what they're communicating to you. So the way I like to do it is, let me get this here. I like to hold it this way over my hand, and I like to ask, what is a yes response? So it's going in a clockwise circle, and that's typically the yes response that I usually get. And then I'm going to ask the pendulum, what is a no response? And so it's going in a line back and forth. And that's generally the answer that I get as well. And then sometimes it'll do something different. Like if the answer is maybe or unknown, it'll sometimes move in a strange kind of way, like in neither kind of direction, sort of like this, and certainly not clockwise. But like I said, the answers and responses that it gives to individual people using the pendulum vary from practitioner to practitioner. So it's important to calibrate the pendulum and to determine what the answers are, like what the answers, whether it's a yes or no or maybe. Another way of doing that too, I don't often do this, but you can use a pendulum mat like this one. I don't know if that's going to reverse or not in the photo, but it has the no and the yes, the unknown and maybe. And you can hold the pendulum over one of these and ask questions, and sometimes that's easier for practitioners to use. And you can certainly, we sell these on the website, but you can certainly write them on a piece of paper if you'd like. And some people use other things. There's like very elaborate diagrams that some practitioners use with multiple answers and things related to various kinds and levels of questions that you might ask the pendulum. One of the things that I want to eventually get is, what do they call it? A letter board that is circular, and it has all of the letters of the alphabet with the numbers, sort of like a Ouija board or a spirit board, only it's circular, and I know some of them are circular too. But you can ask questions, and then instead of yes, no, maybe, and unknown, it will give you letter and number responses so that it can actually spell out names or sentences or whatever you want it to do, which I think is really interesting. And I've done that before you can use spirit boards or Ouija boards with the pendulum that way. And of course, purify and consecrate everything beforehand and do your protections. Another thing that you might want to have handy when you're doing this is a book of paper and a writing utensil, because you might want to write down something that comes through. So let me show you how a session might work. This is how I generally do it. I generally will put my elbow like this. Oh, let me get this so you can see what I'm doing. Like this. I'll rest my elbow so that there's not a whole lot of movement. And then I will ask a question. Let's see if there's anyone here that wants to speak to us. This is a spirit communication that I'm going to try to do. And let's see if there's a spirit here. It says yes. Are you a spirit that? Are you a spirit of someone who's died in this location? No. Are you one of the guides that I normally work with? Yes. I thought so. And I'm not going to say the name. I'll bleep it out. But is this? Yes, I thought so from your energy, because It was very familiar to me. And did you have a special message that you wanted to give to me today? Yes. Is there something that I should be focused on and working on today? Yes. What I'm sensing is that it's encouragement about this video that I'm doing, this tutorial. Is that what you wanted to tell me, that you encouraged me to do these types of tutorials? Yes. Thank you so much for demonstrating how that works for some of our people at home. And it's really that simple. I was surprised the first time that I tried the pendulum at how receptive I was to it, how it moved and how it responded to me, and all of that. That was a very I didn't expect it to be that right off the bat, but it really was. And it's an amazing tool. And it's been very helpful over the years. You can use the pendulum to obtain information about lost objects or virtually anything. It's an amazing, amazing tool. And I encourage you to connect with one of them and to experiment with it. And as you saw in my demonstration there, you can use it to communicate with your guides or with the departed or with other grades of spirits. It's really very versatile. And given that it's October and the veil is thin, it's a perfect time to dive in and experiment with pendulums and with spirit communication and divination of all kinds. So I think that wraps it up for me. I'm always interested in hearing from everybody. And is pendulum something that you use in your practice? Is it something that that's helpful to you, and how do you use it? Or do you just not believe in it? So let us know in the comments. I love hearing from people about what they do. And if you have any questions too, I'm open to that. Leave those in the comments as well. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and hit the like and share as well. I hope everyone's having a wonderful October and a wonderful Samhain season. And that's it. Blessed be and peace.